is my friend Micah, and he's going to talk with me about some fall activities. So, I'll get my questions ready. So what is your favorite thing to do in the fall?
My favorite thing to do in the fall is probably to have a fire inside.
A fire inside?
Yeah.
In a fireplace?
In a fireplace.
Not just, around.
That's a key piece of information. Yeah. We are lucky in that we have a fire pit outside.
Okay.
And so we get to enjoy that in the summer. But in the fall, once it starts to get colder, we start to have fires inside at our fireplace. And it's just a nice way to have an evening together. And I think it's cozy.
It's cozy, right? It feels warm and comfortable to have a fire going on inside. Yeah. We do have a fireplace, but we're never sure if it's open or closed at the top, so we're a little afraid to use it. But we have a fire pit that we got this year outside. So sometimes, even in the fall, we'll sit outside around a fire and toast marshmallows, and make some s'mores. Which, have you ever made s'mores before?
I'm an expert at making s'mores.
Okay, can you explain how to make s'mores?
Okay, so a s'more is a dessert that usually has 3 ingredients. So it has graham crackers, and then a layer of chocolate, and then a marshmallow, and then you put a graham cracker on top. So it's kind of like a sandwich. Which implies that it's food, but it's definitely just sweet.
It's candy, basically.
It's candy. And to make it even more delicious, what you can do is you can put the marshmallow on a stick and roast it over the fire. And part of the art of making a s'more is toasting the marshmallow to the perfect golden brown color.
Okay, so you're a that was going to be my next question, is what color do you prefer your marshmallows?
Yeah, I prefer golden brown. Some people prefer burnt flavor, so they'll just light it on fire immediately and then blow it out.
Right, so some people, they may not actually prefer the burnt flavor, but they might not have the patience to make some more, and I'm one of those people. So I just set it on fire and get to eating my sweet s'more.
I'll let you enjoy those.
Okay.
I'll keep my golden brown.
All right. Have you ever been apple picking?
Many times.
Many times. Have you been this year?
Yeah. So where I live actually used to be a farm. It was actually my family's farm. And so if I go and I hike far out back behind my house, there's what used to be an apple orchard, and there are still some apple trees that have pretty good apples. So that's where I went apple picking this year.
So you went apple picking basically in your backyard?
Yeah, there were some woods in between, but pretty much in my backyard.
Okay, so that sounds exciting. Is there another orchard in this area that you like to go to?
Yeah, so I'm from Littleton, and there is a town orchard that we would always go to when I was a kid. I drove through it on the way here, so that would be my other go-to.
Yeah, and was it the kind of orchard where you could kind of climb ladders onto the trees, or were they smaller trees, or maybe you don't need a ladder, I don't know.
There was a time where I was not as tall as I am now.
Okay, it's hard to imagine, but it's...
When I was a little kid, we didn't have ladders, but there were always low enough apples that I could get them.
Yeah.
I always had my parents around who were able to help me.
Yeah, that's good. When I was little, I think we used to go to honeypot orchards, which I think is also in Stowe. And some of those trees, at least used to be pretty tall, and you could actually climb up into the tree if you see a really good apple near the top that you want. So I remember when I was little, I used to climb into the trees to get apples, which was very fun. What kinds of apples have you tried, and do you have a favorite variety, a favorite kind of apple?
Wow, there are a lot of different kinds of apples. I've tried Granny Smith and Golden Delicious and Empire and McCown and Pink Ladies and Cortland's and
They all have fun names.
Yeah.
There are new ones now, too.
I mean, there are always new kinds of apples. But I would say probably my favorite kind of apple is a Maccown. I like...
Maccown. How do you spell that?
I believe it's Maccoun.
Okay.
I could be wrong. One C,
okay.
Thank you.
We have a correction.
Yeah, so in an apple, I like that it can be both sweet and sour or tart.
Mm-hmm. So not too sweet.
Not too sweet, but I want it to be crisp. I want to hear the sound when I take a bite out of it.
Yes, that's good. I think my favorite variety is Cortland for similar reasons. Yeah.
Cortland's really good to cook with, too.
Yeah, I like them as well. So let's see. Have you ever been in a corn maze?
I have. When I was young, my friend Nat had a birthday party.
Oh.
And we went to a corn maze, and we did survive.
You made it out?
Yes, but it took a long time, and we were little, so...
It was a little stressful, maybe.
It was stressful, and I think some of us were not having fun by the end of the corn maze.
That can happen sometimes. I think a corn maze with a group that's all trying to make decisions at once seems like it could be tricky.
Yeah, especially when you're 7.
That's true.
That was part of the challenge.
Yes. Are any of the trees near your house changing color? And do you have a favorite fall color?
That is a good question, too. So, yes, trees are changing around my house, especially the maple trees. So different kinds of trees often change into different kinds of colors. So maple trees that have the different points on their leaves usually are the brightest, and you get more oranges and reds. So I have a few of those, but then lots of pine trees or evergreens that stay green. They don't change color. I do have a favorite color.
Yes, what is it?
It's gray.
Gray leaves?
It's not a leaf color.
Okay, just in general, favorite color.
Favorite leaf color, I would say, is probably like a reddish orange.
Okay. But so do you like it when the sky is really gray against all of the fall colors, or no?
I think my favorite thing, this is like late fall. Once the leaves start falling, and you can kind of appreciate the color of the bark or the skin of a tree. There are just so many different subtle colors. So not very different, not very bold or bright, but subtle colors that are sort of different kinds of gray,
different
and brown,
dark and brown,
green, and all of that mixes together.
You don't find that depressing? You think that's the fun part?
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is very cool in its own way. I think I prefer around right now when things are very bright and colorful, and I really like the trees that turn bright red, like the maple trees, and also some of the leaves also will turn very bright yellow as well, which I think is very pretty. Do you have any fall questions for me from this list?
My goodness, there are a few good questions here. What is your favorite warming savory dish?
Oh, a warm savory dish, so something that's not sweet. I think in the fall, if it's really cold outside, or in winter, probably some kind of soup, like maybe a chicken noodle soup if it's really, really cold outside, can be really nice. Yeah. What about you?
Someone asked me earlier about apple pie. So I think that is on the line between savory and sweet.
I think that pretty much counts as sweet.
I don't know about that. I think I could eat it at any time of day. But
Fair.
I would say, for a savory warming dish, I don't know, maybe like a pot roast.
Pot roast can be good. So, that can be nice and warm. Do you have a favorite hot beverage to drink when it's cold outside?
Oh, gosh. Well, I could drink a whole lot of coffee.
Coffee?
Any time of day.
Okay.
I'm there.
All right. What about tea? Do you drink tea?
I had some chamomile tea earlier today. I know sometimes that puts people to sleep. For me, it's just calming and nice.
Well, that's good, yeah. I think I had some today too. I drank a lot of tea today because it got so cold. Yeah.
Excellent choice.
What is your opinion of a pumpkin spice flavor? It's a very popular flavor right now, right? And it's kind of all the things that go in pumpkin pie, so things like cinnamon and cardamom and nutmeg and all these things together is a flavor combination. What do you think?
Generally, I do not like pumpkin spice, but there are things that are pumpkin flavored that I do enjoy. So,
such as?
Kimball's Farms has pumpkin ice cream that I really enjoy. That feels like fall to me.
When can you get pumpkin ice cream from Kimball's?
Oh, I think you can get it any time. It's just not a very popular flavor.
I see. Because haven't they closed for the season?
Yeah, sorry everyone. That recommendation you'll have to save for next year.
Yes. If you don't know Kimball's Farm, there's a lot of local ice cream places called Kimball's. Which one do you like to go to?
The one in Westford. Because I live in Littleton, I pretend it's in Littleton.
Okay, close enough. Yeah. There's one in Westford. We usually go to the one in Carlisle. That's the other one in the area because it's a little less busy.
Excellent.
A lot of times.
Excellent choice.
Yes. But that's not really a fall food, is it? But a fall flavored food.
It's a fall flavored ice cream. I think if you're from New England, you learn to enjoy ice cream at any time of year.
That's probably true. Yep. Yeah. So what things besides the fireplace do you do to feel cozy inside fall?
I like fuzzy blankets. I will wear them and walk around the house.
Sure, yep.
It is a frequent part of my work attire. My work clothing is a fuzzy blanket.
We should specify that you work from home.
I do work from home, but I don't think that would stop me from the office either. Yeah, let's see. Have you ever experienced an American Thanksgiving?
I have.
If so,
yes.
What was your favorite Thanksgiving food?
My favorite Thanksgiving food, I think I would have to say, would be mashed potatoes with gravy, or maybe stuffing with gravy. These things are very tasty.
This is true. What do you like about them?
I like the combination of the kind of saltiness and the richness of it, so it's kind of buttery, a little bit salty. That I think is very tasty. I did have 1 year, well actually 2 years, but one in particular when I did not have an American Thanksgiving because I was living in Germany and I went to a restaurant in Germany to try to eat an American Thanksgiving and they did not have mashed potatoes. And this made me very sad at the time because there was not the right kind of potatoes. So.
What are some other classic Thanksgiving foods?
So the big one is a big roasted turkey, right? And so there used to be somebody my family knew that had a turkey farm. So we would go to his farm to get the turkey every year. And it was a really big turkey for the group of my family that likes to eat together on Thanksgiving. So that's one. Also cranberry sauce, so a sauce made out of cranberries is very popular. Am I missing anything?
Well, you mentioned a really big turkey.
Yes.
That was maybe too big. What happens when you have more food than you can eat on Thanksgiving Day?
More food than you can eat. Well, then I think everybody kind of has to take a nap for a while.
That's an important part of the celebration.
Yes.
And do you have leftovers?
Oh, yes. That's an important thing. We always have lots of leftover food. So usually people, I think, make too much food on Thanksgiving because they'd rather have too much than too little food. So lots of people will then make turkey sandwiches for the next day or 2 or 3, where you'll have some nice bread, some turkey, some cranberry sauce, usually some stuffing. We like a little bit of mayonnaise on our sandwiches, some salt, and that's kind of a standard sandwich that many American families have 1 to 2 days after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you have turkey sandwiches at your house?
Yes, and as I mentioned, apple pie as often as possible.
Okay, so that's a pretty good set of Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, maybe one more question.
Okay.
Now, this is interesting. Do you think that your mood is affected by the season or weather? Do you think you feel happier or differently when there's different weather?
That's a good question. Yes. Yes, I do become more serious in the fall and winter. I spend more time in my head thinking.
Okay.
And I kind of like that change in seasons. Yeah, for some people, I think it can get a little too serious or a little too dark in the winter. For me, I think it's sort of nice to just have a change of pace, a different speed at different times in the year.
Okay, so the fall and the winter, that's your more serious time. And then you have a more fun or goofy time in the spring and summer, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So moods to go with the seasons.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good. So thank you for talking with me, Micah, about fall activities. I might see you at the apple orchard this year.
I'll see you there.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.